Hey YouTube Nation, Rad Toys here, back with a new video. This week we're going to do a weekly pickup video, some stuff I got from my local comic book store, or LDS if you're on the inside. Let's jump in here, see what we got. Starting out with a Darth Vader number 14 War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in. They've been doing this War of the Bounty Hunter tie-in for quite some time. It's made it very confusing which comic book you're getting because they've got Bounty Hunters, War of the Bounty Hunters, War of the Bounty Hunters tie-ins. Everything's got the same type of cover, same type of title. It's very, very confusing the way they have it set up right now. Been reading some of them, read probably through 7 on Darth Vader. Need to get into it. And here we have another Star Wars, a War of the Bounty Hunters number 2 standard cover. This one for some reason is not a War of the Bounty Hunters tie-in. I don't really understand that, but it does still have the similar gray type cover that they've been doing at the top there for a while. And then we've got a variant cover to that War of the Bounty Hunters number 2. This is one of the action figure style covers. They've been doing a whole line of these, and of course me, I'm going to be a sucker for any of these Star Wars action figure covers. Anytime they put that out, I'm going to be the guy that picks that up. And then we've got a Boom Comics here, number 1 Dark Blood. One of these comic books that seems like it's written specifically, tried to be picked up for a Netflix show or Amazon Prime, one of these streaming services, but it seems like a pretty good story. He has mystical powers that we don't quite understand, and then all of a sudden we're finding him back in World War II, and it just seems like it's a good setup. It would work out well for a streaming service, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll hang on to that. This one here may be written the same way. I don't know if this one's going to be very translatable that way, but Bermuda number 1, IDW, another one of these independent companies. I don't know if Boom Comics and IDW are still considered independents, but anyway. Really enjoyed the art inside this comic book here. The cover's a little bit basic. It's got kind of a cartoon type of feel to it, but you look at the art inside, and I'll show some pictures, just really poured over. You could tell that the artist spent a lot of time looking at this and working on it. Some of these comic books, especially some of these Marvel books, are just very, very basic art. They feel like they're drawn very quickly, like just designed to pump them out as fast as possible. But Bermuda number 1, see how that one goes. Another Star Wars book here, an IDW Star Wars High Republic Adventures. What are we on, number 6? Kind of the kids type version, the softened version. All of these Star Wars comics are pretty soft and pretty kid friendly. There's not a lot of more mature stories going on, I would say. Although I do really kind of enjoy the High Republic storyline right now with the Starlight Beacon. It's an interesting story. And now we've got a Moon Knight number 1. This is one of these examples, I would say, in the Marvel comics that they're just drawing very quickly. I don't know, I guess it's the style of art. It just doesn't seem like a lot of time was spent with it. Not a fan of it, but I don't know. It has a American flag on the cover. Again, I'm a sucker for any comic book with an American flag on the cover. It always makes for a good-looking comic book. And of course, to reward that really lazy art, what I did was went ahead and bought 2 of them. Got another variant cover here. I thought that this was actually the main cover, but actually it is a variant, looks like. Not a bad cover. I don't mind that cover. If you're going to have a Moon Knight, it's got to have a black and white. And I guess at some point we're going to get something Moon Knight. They've been promising us Moon Knight, and there's going to be a Moon Knight show. There's going to be a Moon Knight movie. Moon Knight's the Marvel version of Batman. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. We'll see if that actually materializes, but I've got 2 of them just in case. And then this one, I kind of enjoyed this comic book, Sleigh Bells. This is this one-shot Bad Idea Comics. This one, I guess you would say, is a true independent comic book company. But this was a pretty good comic book. This was that Michael Douglas. I felt like it was based on the Michael Douglas falling down movie type of thing, where somebody just has too much. Santa's having a very bad day in this comic book, and he's just had enough, and he's not going to take it anymore. So Sleigh Bells was a fun comic book. I don't know if we'll see any more of that, but I kind of enjoyed that. And I need to read this. I started reading and I skimmed through this first one, and I've been seeing some good things about the story, and I really did get into it. I was surprised they had 1, 2, and 3. I've got all 3 of them right here. But this was evidently a 1 in 10 variant cover. I liked the cover. I thought it was an interesting cover. It was buried in the back of them. I wanted to, interesting to find that I could get all 3 of them. But again, it's another one of these stories that seems like it's maybe made for a Netflix type of show. And evidently it also has something to do a lot with climate change. When I skimmed through it or read through it a little bit, I didn't really get much climate change going on. But, well written, well drawn comic book. I guess it's pretty well written as well. I need to read through these first 3 of them and see where the story goes. But I don't know. I was happy that I could get all 3 of them right there. Oops. And then this comic, this is the one that had a lot of buzz around it this week. And I probably bought the least popular cover. Everybody was buying the main cover. The main cover seemed like it was the popular one, but if it was going to be, I think it was like $9 for this book. So if I was going to buy one, I was going to get what I thought looked like they had the least amount of them. So I got one of the variant covers here. Mother of Madness. This was written by Emilia Clarke. She played Daenerys on Game of Thrones. It's a very kind of controversial book a little bit. It's extremely feminist. The heroine has feminist-related powers, and based on her emotions, she has different powers, and it's very over the top. I think it might be written more tongue-in-cheek than what people actually realize. Some people are having a little bit of a visceral reaction to it, but I don't know. We'll have to see where the story goes, because it is so over the top. I feel like there's got to be something else coming up. All right, so that was the end of the weekly comic books. These are the ones that all came out this week. Of course, at the local comic book store, you got to go back and check out the dollar bin, see what they've got back there. Sometimes they'll have some new stuff. And I got a couple of things. This was a X-Men #1 flashback. I couldn't find this on the database that I use at all. Found it on eBay. Not a very expensive comic book, but it's well drawn. Really like the art. I think it's a new story. I think they're just retelling a previous story from a different perspective. Magneto and Charles Xavier's kind of friendship breakup. Magneto becomes Magneto fully. It's well drawn. Seems like a good comic book, but it's odd that I couldn't find anything on it. It also does seem to be a newsstand variant. And then we also found a Punisher Warzone #1 in the dollar bin. I actually bought this because I had a #2 that I think I probably got out of a 50-cent bin that I was going to bundle together and sell, but of course that #2 sold. So now I've got a #1, but still good comic book. It looks like it's never been read. I don't even know if it's ever been opened before, but a lot of those 90 comics were that way. People just bought them in bundles, and if it was a #1, they just put them away, never opened them, and now here they are in the dollar bins. This was an odd comic book. I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to this. You know, it's an Uncanny X-Men #355 Alpha Flight tie-in. You know, Alpha Flight, buzz around Alpha Flight. You know, maybe it's something they're going to do something with. Probably not. But anyway, picked it up, and it's got something written at the bottom here. I don't know. I couldn't really make out what it says. Copy something or other. And then when I took it out of the bag and board, I found that it's got this big sticker on it, and it says return for credit of $650. I don't know if maybe they had bought this as a whole bundle of them, 650 of them that didn't sell, and they went to return them. This was the one on the top. I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's got a big tear at the top right here, but I only paid $1 for it, so I guess I'm not out that much. And then they also did have a new comic book collection that they had evidently bought out. Somebody had already picked through most of it. There was actually a guy there talking about how he had been there before, picking through it all. But I found a few things that I liked. I ended up looking up the prices, and I found that I actually paid pretty much retail. But Black Panther #3, 1977. Decent cover, newsstand. I paid $6 for it. I thought that was a decent price for it. It's got some type of Chaos Tomb. Could that be a Kang tie-in? Obviously not if it's only going for $6. But early Black Panther. There's a new Black Panther movie coming out. So I figured that was a good pickup for $6. Although when I looked on eBay, it really wasn't. It was about newsstand price. They also had a Black Goliath #2, again $6. Thought that was a good price. I paid more, I think, than $6 for this Mother of Madness here. So, you know, $6 for 1977. I guess this is a direct edition, not a newsstand, but nice comic book in decent shape for 1977. I mean, not terrible shape anyway. And last but not least, we got a Black Panther #2. Paid $8 for this one. I figured this had to be a at least a $20 comic book. Newsstand variants in decent shape, but it's selling for about $8, $10 somewhere in there on eBay. Oh, I don't know. But again, new Black Panther movie coming. Hang on to it a little while, see what happens. All right, well, that was the last one. I appreciate you hanging out here. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like. But have a great day.